Well, we always, well, let me think for a second. We always watched I'm trying to think where we went as kids. I think we went over here at, what's the, I'm losing my mind. No, what's the one right here off of River? Pratt. And so back in those days, you could kind of sit on the banks of Pratt, on the hill, overlooking Fredericksburg, and you could check the fireworks out then, because we never had no fireworks in Stafford County. I mean, you know, I'm at a generation where it just wasn't happening. There was only one place that, as I recall, that had fireworks, and that was basically in Fredericksburg. So people from Stafford, Spotsy, Caroline, King George, what have you, they'd all, if maybe they probably had, Caroline and King George probably had something going on down there, but particularly Spotsy and Stafford, you know, sort of kind of came in depending on where they were at and settled and watched the fireworks. So years ago they had them at the parking shop, which is off of Route 1. So you could sit on this side looking straight over the river, the Rappahannock, and it would be a beautiful sight line, you know, just to the fireworks. So we did that, you know. You're talking about an event. It happened to pop into my head. I'm old enough where I think it was I got to remember this, early 70s, the year slipping my mind, when we had a huge flood here in town. And I mean, you know, every now and then, every 50 years or whatever it is, you know, you get these major floods. The Rappahannock would flood. And, you know, as a young child, well, at that time I was early teens probably, seeing the Chatham Bridge, for example, with boats going across the Chatham Bridge because the water level was raised so high. You're talking about an event that, and then of course it flooded. Wouldn't surprise me if it didn't come into the backside of this property here at George Washington's boyhood home at Ferry Farms, and you know, seeing all of that. And of course in those days the National Guard came out and they had to block out all the streets, and you know, so I remember that as a child. Now my dad, you know, goes back to the 1943 flood, I think, year was, where it was a lot higher. And again, you know, boats going across. If you can visualize this, you know, how high the water is over the Falmouth and Chatham Bridge, and boats just going back and forth, back and forth. And everybody would come and sit again on the banks of Pratt, and just, it was like a show, just kind of just watching it, you know. And so that's something that stands out as a young person. Well, it's, you know, I'm just thrilled to be able to come here on the 4th of July, come home, you know, sentimentally, it's spiritual to me in some ways, because I'm deeply rooted here in Stafford. So to be able to come here to the George Washington Boyhood Home, be a part of the 4th of July, the founding day, you know, and at George Washington's Boyhood Home, combined with my being from the area, bringing my band, seeing friends, seeing family, being part of the fabulous 4th, you know, and all the wonderful things that have that the foundation's been doing for the Boyhood Home, and just being a part of that and having that opportunity, that to be quite honest with you, that it started with Alma because of my friendship with her for all of these years, and she's always supported me, and so she was very instrumental providing this opportunity for me, and I have and will continue to give it 110%. You know, we're going to bring in a beautiful stage and have it set up in the field out here, and it's going to be awesome, and have a great sound system. You know, we're playing one 90-minute set from 3:30 to 5 p.m. so a lot of the folks can leave, and whether they go to barbecues or whatever their plans are for the evening. But being able to come in and have that experience all day long, and walking around and seeing all the great arts and crafts and things. I would encourage, and I hope that when people see this, as you get it out there, if they haven't made plans, I hope that they'll make plans to be able to attend, because I think it's going to be a very special day. And I think that I'm optimistic that maybe this will turn into a tradition. You know, I'm going to try to do my best to do my part, not only from a performing standpoint, but supporting it, because, you know, I'm going to try to help coordinate in some areas. And so I hope that you know, all of it will be a, you know, I've been blessed, Kendall, far and above what I ever thought I would accomplish or whatever, have an experience. I mean, people talk about a bucket list, right? You check them off, you know. So you have highlights, you know, that come down the line where, you know, I mean, I've been blessed to be able to travel all over the world. You know, I've played throughout Europe and Japan and throughout the Caribbean and, you know, different countries. And throughout the continental USA, you know. Great experiences, you know, and seen a lot of things I never dreamed I would ever see coming from Stafford County as a little boy. And it's all been based because I've been a product of Stafford County from my musical heritage that has put me in a place to where I pursued music for a living. Therefore, it provided me the opportunity to go out and see the world, so to speak. So there's highlights that one has in their careers, you know. And nothing's more important to me, and I'm going to close with this, nothing's more important to me, and I say this, you know, with all sincerity, is to come back home to where you come from, here in Stafford, and being able to have that as part of an experience that I hope that I'll continue to have, but I know that at least I've had it one time, and this is as high on the bucket list as it ever could be. And of course you combine that with the 350th year anniversary of this county, which is a long, long time. Now how special is that if you're from this area to be able to be a part of that? So that's what I would like to close out with, is that I hope that whomever sees this, you know, that they'll understand how special this is, and maybe they can relate to it. So I hope that they'll come out and experience it themselves that day, and let's have a good time.